back to another episode of Official Side Fashion, where we facilitate the spread of positive cultural influence. And I'm back again with my bro Hassan.
What's going on?
And today we got a special guest in the building, a young creative and entrepreneur that I met on my HBCU campus. We got Fabeina RIGGINS. How you doing today?
Good, I'm doing good.
I want to thank you for coming through.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Most definitely. We've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Different perspective we get today. So we asked the young Fabi what she wanted to be growing up. What would she have told us?
Oh, I would have told y'all that I wanted to be just a creative. You feel me? Just being who I am and just posting that on the internet, basically. And just being me.
Growing up, like, what creations were you attracted to? Because, like, me, I grew up, like, wanting to draw all the time.
Okay.
So, like, what was, like, your thing?
I mean, that was my thing, too. Like, I've always been an artist. Like, quite literally, my dad drew. He's a barber, so he got that artistic skill.
Yeah.
But as far as drawing, like, when I was younger, I used to love acting. Like, I was always in front of the camera. I did YouTube when I was younger, you know.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, everybody wants to be a YouTuber when they're like 13, you feel me? So I wanted to do that, but just spending time on the camera, basically.
So you always had that confidence to, like, put yourself out there.
Yeah, like, it just came naturally to me, especially because I really do feel like it's like a God-given talent.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Like, I've always felt comfortable in front of the camera, in front of people. But, I mean, it obviously takes time to develop that, like, okay, I want to do this. Yeah.
Most definitely. So, like, you mentioned before, you know, were we rolling when we mentioned you from Japan?
I think, yeah, we was rolling. I
We
wrote
are.
it.
We were rolling, so, like,
Yeah.
we already talked about that. So, from Japan to Cali to South Carolina, like, what are some of the phases you went through as a person? Like, if you could describe your mindset, say, coming into high school, what were you thinking?
Ooh, okay, that's a great question. To be honest, a lot of my childhood was on, like, autopilot.
Really?
For sure. Like, I never really sat and thought about what I wanted to do and, like, the actual mindset I had
Mm-hmm.
until I was in college. But if I really do think about it, as far as mindset, I don't know. I really just wanted to live life, in a sense, because growing up, you see your parents working really, really hard. Especially my mom being an immigrant and my dad coming from the military, they really had to, like, get out the mud.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I kind of seek that hard work, but in my head, I was like, I don't really want to work hard.
Yeah.
I thought that's what our generation is on.
Yeah.
Like, fucking job shit.
Like,
Somebody
all
work
three of us,
60
and I'm
years.
pretty sure your friend here too could attest to that. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to see my mama work no 3-4 jobs, 2-3 jobs, crazy shit like that. Like, I don't want that for myself. Like,
And that's good that you see that, because a lot of people out here in the world will just think that's normal and just go about their life every single day. Just
That's all they
working.
the American mindset is like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But it's like, bro, like, that's
Right.
almost inhumane to be having niggas work 16-hour days,
Right.
7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
crazy.
I like that word you use, inhumane, because that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Like, especially the public school system, like,
Most definitely.
we're being bred to just
Just
be
be
a
workers.
worker.
Come on, bro.
People don't see that, though.
Niggas is in school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and sometimes 10 or 11 or 12 if you stay after school. It's like,
Right.
bro, like, nah, that shit crazy. Even as a little kid, you was thinking, like, bro, this shit crazy.
You being
saying,
indoctrinated.
Right.
You don't even know you being, like, what's the word for that? Condition?
Condition, for sure. Like, you really are, like, even in college too, like, people come out here and just, they have to choose a major. Like, for example, I don't know if I'm getting too far ahead, but
No, you good.
yeah, like, I'm
You going right down our
Yeah.
alley, really?
like, I'm a criminal justice major, and
Yeah.
I really had to, I mean, straight from high school, 17, 18, not knowing what you really want to do
That's
in your
me.
life.
I'm a county major.
See, I mean, from jump, I knew I didn't like math, but I don't know.
I
This
just
man's
chose
a
that.
counting major. You see what he doing right now. This
Right.
ain't got nothing to do with
And I don't see that shit in my future. I feel like people come to school because their parents.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, our parents now are telling us, like, in order to get a good job, you have to get a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
But before that, you also have to get a master's degree and a doctor's. And it's like, if that's not what you really want to do, then, like, why are you here?
You're
Like,
wasting time. Yeah.
yeah, you're wasting your time, for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So it's like, when did you have that mindset switch? Once you got to school and when you had time? Or was it during the pandemic?
I mean, it was really during the pandemic, for sure. Like,
They did it for everybody.
I'm saying, like, okay, reality, like,
Right.
Your reality hit. I gotta sit my ass
You
down.
gotta sit on the couch for a couple weeks and think about something.
bruh, seriously, like, and then I think the digital like boom really came during the pandemic, like
Most
TikTok.
definitely.
You feel me? Everyone was like, "Oh, be a YouTuber, work online, everything like that." And I really had to sit myself down and just be like, "Yo, look, I've been wanting to do acting, theater, being a creator since I was a young kid.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so let's make stuff work. Let's make it poppin'."
Like, let's
So,
try it.
where did criminal justice come from?
Ooh, that's a valid question. As far as criminal justice, I was originally a sports management major. I thought I wanted to be an athletic trainer.
Mhm.
You know, but
What happened?
I watched How to Get Away with Murder, and I was like, yo, I want to be a lawyer for sure.
Mhm.
But to like what really did it for me is I love learning about Black people. I love learning about like why are we in the condition that we are today.
So,
And as far as the prison system, like we are affected by that.
I was just about to ask you, like, whether you feel like some of the problems that affect Black people today.
Oh, for sure.
'Cause we had a friend actually that's from California. I don't know if you know Messiah, but like y'all were really similar. Like
Oh,
your
yeah,
house
you and
smoking.
Mosiah.
Y'all would have definitely got along. But like he sent us a text one day. I'll never forget this. He was like the 5 problems that affect like people. It was like mass incarceration, miseducation, and I forgot the other 3 to be honest.
Shoot.
But the mass incarceration is a big feature.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. And people aren't understanding why we are in that mass incarceration cycle. But I mean, it goes deeper than just committing crime. You feel me? It's the generational trauma that
Yeah,
affects us. And like,
definitely. We talk about that. We talked about that with our first group of females.
There's laws and policies that's put in place specifically to keep us stagnant and
Exactly.
specifically to hold us back. So I mean, the shit crazy when you look at it.
it
Like,
really
and then
is.
even like the shit like weed is so simple now, but like back then, like everybody thought weed was so crazy, but like now you know why the law was put in place.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's just one example, but it's just like damn,
Yeah.
like they doing everything in their power to, you know what I'm saying, keep us in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it comes from like the social constructs you
Mm.
follow.
Right.
But then when I thought about it, like why would you follow a construct? It's a construct.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's order in everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to put somebody on the bottom at the end of the day. And it
Yeah,
just
when you
happens
think
to
about it,
Right.
it
But
is.
the people on the bottom gotta realize that we ain't have no say so in making these conventions that they tell us to follow.
Exactly.
So like why like are you gonna really blindly follow that shit? If you ain't have no say so with it, you know what I'm saying? They obviously made these things to go
Right.
against you. So like what are you gonna do about it?
And I think that's important for, like, to be honest, Black people to realize, like,
100%.
we're in that state. And so once we start waking up, and especially like our generation too,
Mhm.
like we're feeding ourselves information, not going like with the grain, but against it. Like we're really educating ourselves. And look, if we understand that we're in the state that we're in, we're able to change it. And, you know, that's where like protests come in. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Do you feel like protests are effective though?
No. However, I
Yeah.
do think it's valid to do it because it does wake people up.
Yeah.
It-
Most definitely.
Like it sheds a light. Like for example, the Black Lives Matter movement. Like it shedded a light on a lot of people that didn't understand like police brutality.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, I think protesting just get more people on our team, if anything.
Exactly.
I think the real change gonna come when we get in there and start, you know, changing laws and policies and shit, and start allocating power to people who really like need it, like Stacey Abrams in Georgia. Like she from Atlanta, she, you know what I'm saying, she know what the people really need, but we still got fucking racist ass Brian Kemp in office. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And everybody know he on some bullshit. So it's like, what you gonna do?
So off the criminal justice piece for a while. So like you at Benedict, you find out criminal justice might not be my thing. I'm gonna be a creative.
Right.
So now that you're like in this creative atmosphere, I feel like we have going on campus. Like how do you feel about that? And more people are like willing to pop their shit, willing to let it be known. This is what I'm into. This is what I'm putting myself out here for.
Right. I think that's so valid. Like I love seeing people in their element.
Mhm.
Like for example, y'all podcast. Like we didn't have that before. If y'all didn't really pop it, like people wouldn't know about it. And that goes for every single creative on campus. Like everybody has their own thing. Everybody has their own light to bring to the table. But just seeing other people like love doing what they do is just super inspiring for sure.
Most definitely. So like, what was like one of the first projects you put out as of recently?
Ooh.
As far as like your new campaign, this one you got a campaign.
A campaign?
So like, really just your new work. It's like,
Right. Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I feel like the magazine that I did really kind of like set off a new era for me.
Mhm.
Like, because I really did come out the blue, and I was kind of trying to, you know, pop my stuff on Instagram, TikTok, and really trying to push my brand out there.
for sure.
But when I seen like somebody recognized me and offered me that opportunity to do that magazine, I really felt like, okay, this is what exactly something's going. That's that momentum that you really need to jump on, and that's what I'm, trying to ride on.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So how you feel about social media in this generation? You feel like it's more of a tool or a distraction?
I think it could be both. And I think like it depends on how you look at it and how you use it. Because I know for me, I definitely use social media as a distraction when I wasn't utilizing it. For example, like I would scroll on TikTok for hours and hours and hours. But then when someone was like, you can make money off this thing, I really put my energy into using it for the better. And I could utilize it for a tool to really push my brand.
I was about to say, it's all about your intentions.
Exactly.
Like, shit ain't really good or bad, depending on how you intend to use it.
Exactly. And I wish people like really did understand the power of social media. Like it could really change your life.
So
change other people's lives too.
You seen it change other people's
Man,
lives.
what?
Yeah.
Change my life, shit.
Yeah.
No, for real.
I want to ask you about oversaturation, because there's a lot of people who want to do the same exact shit you want to do, and with us too. So, like, how do you feel about that, and how you see yourself standing out amongst the crowd?
Yeah, no, that's a really valid question. As far as saturation, I don't know. I don't really believe in oversaturation, just because I believe that everybody is unique in their own individual way, and just because you don't resonate with somebody doesn't mean the next person won't. You feel me? Like, I understand that a lot of people want to, do the same thing, want to make money on Instagram, want to be an influencer, but it's like, are they really doing it like me? Are they really bringing the sauce like me? So just understanding, like, I'm not like nobody else. Like, God has really given me my talents and, allow me to succeed in certain aspects. I'm below.
Fact.
For sure.
That's how you gotta feel.
Yeah,
like
that's how we
Yeah.
feel about it too. Cause like I agree with you 100%. I just asked that question just so you could say that.
Yeah.
I already knew you were gonna say that. Like that shit don't matter, bro. Like do what you need to do. You an individual. Like that shit gonna come off how it's supposed to.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you feel like you get the support you want or need right now?
I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't get the support I want, because I really do believe that you're your own support system for sure. Like nobody else is gonna believe in what you're doing but you. You gonna put in the work. And I know that this is God's plan for me for sure. Like things are succeeding in what I'm doing, so I understand like this is the path that God has for me. And regardless if anybody thinks different, I don't really care.
Most definitely.
Right.
Okay.
Can't care.
Yeah.
Can't.
You'll fuck around and do some shit like, bro, what am I doing here? Like, because you listen to somebody, or you trying to please your parents.
Or you trying to like run away from some shit you scared of.
Right.
That.
You can't run away from your purpose.
No.
Can't.
So like, what's the biggest adjustment you had to make as like a young adult coming to college, being on your own?
Just running away from parent expectations. I think that affects a lot of like young kids growing up in this day and age. Like I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Like what parent wants to hear their kid and be like, oh, I don't want to be a lawyer no more.
Content
creators.
Right.
Especially from parents who come from where our parents
especially
come from.
Immigrant parents.
Yeah, immigrant parents, they like content creators.
Yeah.
That shit ain't gonna make you no money.
I'm saying, like, you gonna be broke forever.
They be on the money to worse than that.
Yeah,
I'm saying, bro.
I mean, it's understandable too, but it's like they gotta understand that our world is completely different than theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think they get it, especially over a certain age.
At least not 100%. Cause they'll be like, oh, I see woo woo, they making money, but like, how you gonna do it?
Right.
But it's like what we saying, like, there's no such thing as oversaturation. Like, I'm an individual just like they are.
Exactly.
If we do the same exact thing, we still gonna be two different people. And so this is part of understanding. So that's crazy though.
You feel like our generation know how to think and talk for themselves, or like they just follow what's put in front of their face?
I mean, definitely following what's put in their face, and I think that really has to do with social media and like kind of what you said, like their intention. Like sometimes people do be going through social media looking at other people's lifestyles. Not saying that they shouldn't mimic it, but it's like, oh, they compare themselves to it. So in turn, they kind of follow after what everybody else is doing and not making their own way.
Yeah, you do that shit subconsciously. Like,
Subconsciously.
Not even knowing it.
And that's powerful too. Like you just not understanding who you are as a person and just not understanding the world you live in. You can get lost really quickly.
That's why I told you you were influential, because like somebody looking at you like, I want to do that shit, pop my shit like she popping it. Like,
That's
never know who watching.
exactly, and I think that's super important.
How do you feel about self-sustainability, specifically within the Black community?
Ooh, that's so important. That's crazy because that question really touched home for me.
Self-sustainability.
Like, it's so important for the Black community to really be able to stand on their own 2 feet.
Mhm.
And as far as like Black content, Black businesses, everything in that genre. Like, nobody's gonna pull us out of the mud but ourselves.
That's what we gotta realize.
Yeah.
Yes.
It don't make sense to ask your oppressor to stop oppressing
Oh
you.
God.
Right? Like, it's not gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like my parents, they own their own businesses. Like, for example, my dad, he has the only Black-owned business. I'm not gonna say the business, but he has the only Black-owned business in his city, and people are going to go to him just because he is Black, and I think that's so powerful.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part.
Exactly, and I heard something like the Black woman's dollar circulates the economy the most.
Black women spend the most money in the world, not even in America.
And they spent it on Black-owned businesses too, like hair salons, like things of that nature that really solidify the Black community.
Yeah, that's the crazy part too. Cause like growing up, I saw that like firsthand growing up with my mama. Like she only bought from Black-owned places, but it wasn't cause like, I'm trying to circulate the dollar in our community, or I'm trying to like not do what the white man want me to do. It was just like, I need this stuff. Like, it's certain hair products that's only gonna work on her. It's certain food that she can only eat, especially like being pregnant and having kids. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Black women and white women need different things. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so I think it really come down to that. Like, what's going like help us like maintain and sustain our survival in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all the economic shit. Like, like I need a certain kind of fruit and vegetable because I'm Black.
Actually.
Yeah, I need my hair cut a certain kind of way because I'm Black. So I have to go to the Black barber. I have to go to the Black farmer. All that different kind of stuff.
So, like, how you feel about HBCUs? Like, do you feel like they provide the right value that we need as young Black people? Or do you
piggyback off of that? Can you also talk about like the increase in funding that HBCUs have gotten? Like, just come up with the questions.
Right, of course. Like, I am the biggest supporter of HBCUs, and what's unfortunate is like California doesn't really emphasize HBCUs like they do in the South. But I'm not very familiar with the Southern school system. But I know in California they was not talking about no HBCUs. However, I had the opportunity to tour some HBCUs out here. I knew this is where I wanted to be. Period.
What told you?
I went to Spelman Morehouse in Clark, Atlanta.
I knew you like that. I know you like that, right? Did you go to the homecoming?
I went to Tuskegee's homecoming.
Yeah, Tuskegee homecoming.
Crazy,
lit. Yeah.
When I seen that, I was like, I'm not going to no PWI ever in my life.
Yeah.
And I think more Black children need to see that experience
100%.
Because an HBCU is vital in Black communities. Like, being able to go to a classroom and seeing a Black teacher, children don't really understand the impact of that.
I didn't have that growing up.
You walk into the classroom, like, you feel a sense of comfort almost.
Comfort.
Like, it's crazy. Like, oh man, I've known so many instances where I walked in the classroom with a white teacher, like, muscles tense and shit, got a headache, you know what I'm saying? You wonder, like, why am I feeling like this, you know what I'm saying? But in the back of your head, you scared of all the judgments that may come, like, and that's your teacher, that's an authority figure, you know what I'm saying? There has to be someone that you could spiritually, emotionally, you know, connect with, you know? That's crazy.
That's why it's vital to, like, really put money into our HBCUs, because these schools are, like, really almost the last institution standing as far as Black communities go. Like,
and when you do think about it, that's like the only mecca for Black excellence.
Literally, like, I've never heard of a Black-owned bank, and that's a very, like, fundamental part of a community.
There's a couple out here, but they not like prominent. They not
really
like City Bank.
Yeah, we interviewed this sneaker store. He was like, "Oh, we use a Black-owned bank."
It's one called City. I think Citibank is Black-owned.
The bank they use for our refunds is, I'm not sure if that's Black-owned.
Herring Bank.
I heard that's Black-owned too.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
And then they got a digital bank called Greenwood.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know if you know who Killer Mike is.
I feel like I heard of him.
He like a rapper from Atlanta, but he started like a bank and shit.
That's fine. He got a Netflix show where he like used only Black-owned products.
And that's what Black people need to be doing. And I've been trying to do that too, man.
Yeah.
It's hard out here, though.
Yeah, it's
It
hard.
is.
Super hard.
Sometimes you really just gotta do the research.
Nah,
Yeah, but I'm trying to get better.
How you feel about the people who be like, cause you have Black-owned businesses and then they'll be charging like crazy out the ass price, and people be like, give me a discount.
Oh yeah.
Supposed to be on the price. Like, how you feel about that?
I mean, I understand.
You know that reminds me of. You're not getting here for the free.
Yeah, oh God.
What do you mean? I don't even know you.
Oh God.
I'm weak. No, like, I mean, I understand, like, who wouldn't want a discount, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you want to see Black people thrive, and Black people work hard for their money. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm willing to pay 10 times more for a Black-owned business than I would for, like, a non-Black-owned business.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I wanted you to say that. I'm asking all you questions intentionally because these people need to know.
Okay.
You
gotta fuck with your
folks. You gotta fuck with your folks, man. No matter how much it costs, just give it to them. Give them more.
The strength.
Give them more.
Give them more, like everything.
Right.
Most definitely, man. So, kind of ran out of questions.
Shit. I don't even know. Goddamn.
So, what's your favorite Black movie?
Y'all gonna hate me. I don't really be watching Black movies.
I already knew you were gonna say that.
Just because, like, my mom is Japanese, so I didn't really grow up with that,
Mhm.
the Black mom culture.
Like, how was your dad though, growing up? Like, what was a lot of the things that he exposed you to that made you realize, like, oh, it's cool to be Black, or like, oh, like I like my skin, or I like my hair, like what, like.
That's valid. I think I just always felt comfortable with Black people, just because, like I was saying earlier, like I identify as Black, I look Black, and other races really didn't really accept me because they were like, okay, look at this Black little girl, And when I made more Black friends, I realized, like, yo, I feel really at home. And this is me in elementary school, you know what I mean? I went to a predominantly white and Asian elementary school, but the few Black kids I did, like, be friends with, I was like, yo, and that kind of followed out through my, middle school, high school, like, career. I never really was a person that hung out with different races. Not saying I didn't want to, but I love comfort. Like, I feel comfortable with Black people. That's why I'm at HBCU. So,
yeah. So yeah, I was going to say too, like with the content creation, like you want to help Black people, you want to see us in a better position. How do you think you can do that with your content creation and pushing your lifestyle?
Oh, that's valid. I'm definitely into like creating more Black businesses, and just I want women, young Black women, and even like Black boys too, like seeing a strong woman, strong Black person having multiple businesses. Like I come from a family that already owned businesses, and just taking that and really blowing with it too is going to be like, okay, that's another pillar in the Black community that we need. Look at her continuing to build that legacy for her family.
So,
yeah.
They say like Black women are the most educated group in the United States.
I hope so.
If you look at the ratios in all the colleges, all the little higher education institutions, it's always like 4 women to 1 dude, like something crazy like that. So the universities, not even HBCUs, got way more women on the campus.
So have you ever heard the notion like against women being like just so career driven?
Yeah, I was about to
ask you like play into the role of being quote unquote submissive. Like,
because this is the whole thing. Like people want women to be traditional, still, but it's like I said, we moving into a new world. So how can we fit those traditions with the modernity that's coming in?
Well, for me personally, I'm a very traditional woman in the sense of like I'm really into my femininity. I don't even want to be working. Like I feel like I should be a housewife. You feel me? But I understand like now with the economy, there has to be 2 incomes in the household. But as far as like society putting that pressure on women, I mean, women can still be feminine and do boss things, you know what I mean? I don't think that really clashes in a sense, but because women and men are different. I think men are definitely more career-oriented, and women are kind of forced to be career-oriented just because of the society. Society created that pressure on women to be that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you feel like we're in a renaissance right now?
Oh, for sure. Like,
what do you think they're going to call it?
The new digital age.
The Renaissance 2.0 or something.
Okay,
like that.
like-
So if you had to like define, because I know like if I had to define this Renaissance, it's like the fuck is job, I can't trust the government.
Oh yeah.
I said at our last podcast that like the Renaissance now is more of like a upgrade in software rather than hardware. Cause like back then it was like the Industrial Revolution, the internet, building computers. Ooh. Like we don't even fuck about that no more. We trying to get our spirit right. We trying to make sure our mental health is cool. We trying to make sure like our family life is straight. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the more internal stuff. And so that's how I kind of described it. But like, how do you see that with women specifically?
Ooh. I mean, I really feel like I think the early 2000s was more so of like women having to be that, you know, second stream of income type role. Like they had to go to work, they had to feed their family.
2008.
Exactly, because you know, the recession, right? But now I really do believe that women are becoming more into their femininity and like being more, I guess you could say, like that submissive role, just because we're focusing on our mind, health, and our spirit. You feel me?
100%.
And we're really going back to our roots and we're trying to go within. We're trying to heal ourselves. And for women, that's being more feminine, like really understanding like what is a woman's role, what is a man's role.
Ooh, can we ask you that?
Of course.
What do you feel
think
like
that
is a
is?
woman's role?
I mean, personally, I really feel like a woman's role is just to. This might sound weird, but just to like have babies
we
and sit at
open,
the house.
we open, trust.
Like truly, like I don't believe in women working just because I feel like that's men.
That's real.
The men's job.
Nah, that's real.
You
I ain't gonna lie, that's how I feel too. Like you not talking to people who is opposing to you. Like
Right? Yeah.
I want to take care of my woman or women. You know what I'm saying? Like
Do that.
you know what I'm saying? But either way, y'all never gonna have to work. I don't have to touch a door. Like all that stuff.
And I wish men, like, not even men, but even women, like, understood and went back to that traditional mindset. Because it's like, that's what we were born as, especially for my views. Like, people were born as a man for a reason. People were born as a woman for a reason. I'm just speaking on traditional gender roles at this point. But as far as that, like, going back to our roots is really important. You know what I'm saying? Like, just really seeing your power and, like, what you can bring out just in, like, for example, for me, like my own femininity, it's a powerful tool that a lot of people are kind of scared to even talk about.
100%.
Yeah, like it's controversial 100%. In a sense.
Y'all you can definitely.
But y'all the coldest ones walking on the earth, bro. Like women and black women in general, bro. Like y'all the coldest, most powerful, like ones walking on the earth, bro. So it's like, but a lot of women don't know that. A lot of women haven't been taught that being submissive, being feminine. You know, all that, you know, being able to maintain is powerful. Like that's
right.
So they were raised by like single women.
Exactly.
And so that was leading into my next question of like, how do you think that women can combine their femininity with like that mentality of like, oh, I still need to be a boss woman. I still need to like go out and get it. Like, how can women combine that?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful question because I think that's the journey I am on right now. Like in my previous situation, I think I really was submitting to my femininity basically like in this serving mentality, but I kind of like forgot about myself. Like I forgot like, yo, I gotta live my own life too. And I'm actually, I wish I could answer that question because I'm on that path right now, like balancing who I am like in my nature and then me like really having to conform to society, like understanding that, look, I do gotta get a job, I do gotta, you know, submit to society's rules.
Yeah, I think that's the part where
everybody figuring that,
right?
Especially where we at.
Yeah, and then like us as men, like you could say your piece, but I know for me specifically, like, it's for me it's a conflict between the feminine energy and the masculine energy because like they tell us not to be so sensitive, not to be so vulnerable, all that different kind of stuff. But like you need that in order to be like an effective human being, like whether you're a man or a woman, you know what I'm saying? But that's just feminine energy in my mind. So like, I think we all at that point trying to figure out like how can we let these two things coexist? That masculine energy and that feminine energy. How can we let this coexist?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like in an unlearning state right now. Like unlearning certain shit I learned as a child that might not be correct, or conducive to the person I want to become. Like the vulnerable thing, like we talk, man, men don't cry. It's okay for men to cry.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay for me to talk about
We
my
talk
feelings.
about that all
Exactly.
the
To be
time.
vulnerable. But like, so you got some men out here super fucking like masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
super hard, man.
And some men that have more feminine than masculinity. Like you can
Yeah.
tell, but you need that balance.
Yeah, you.
To be
That's
the
the
man you
main
need to
thing.
be.
Your awareness
Yeah.
tell you.
I
Like,
wouldn't say the man you need to be because you could be yourself.
I mean, the most effective man. I like to say that. I like to say that because like you can be any kind of man, but like men still play a certain role no matter what.
I
You
agree.
be gay, straight, whatever. So you still a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that kind of shit.
Do you feel like our generation is like more sensitive, or do you feel like we're more desensitized?
I think we're more sensitive. I think in a way social media because of social media we're able to like access people
Mhm.
now, and we have a lot more information. However, with so many eyes, there's a lot of people judging as well. So a lot of people don't really feel as comfortable saying their own views. Even like as y'all can see, like the Trump election, like that was really dividing.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for people to put themselves out there. So I think unfortunately we are a little sensitive.
Yeah, we are.
I feel like we're desensitized too.
Yeah, I was just finna say
It's
like
you'll see somebody get killed on the internet.
Yeah,
This
Yeah.
is
crazy.
so man, like
that's
that's
just crazy.
normal shit at this point, but it's really not.
I feel like
Right.
that kind of plays into the sensitivity though, because like the one part of your mind is like, I don't want to see that shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But then you watch it and then it's like, this shit happen all the time.
That's
That shit
unfortunate.
crazy.
Right. It'd be like that sometimes. I mean, social media gives us that access now, and it's
So
sad.
you feel like it's a drug?
It is a drug, but kind of going back to the intentions thing, like it's a drug. I mean, it could be. I mean, you are scrolling on TikTok for hours, not knowing.
sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Man, look, I'll tell you like this. I tried to get off Instagram for Ramadan. Shit ain't work. That shit last like
You've been
5 days.
plugged in all your life
Shit
though.
lasts for
Yeah.
like 5 days. I'm right back on it.
When you think about it, we
Shit.
the first generation raised on that shit.
Well,
Exactly.
But then if you think about the way they manufacture the shit, the algorithms, all that stuff, like it's meant to keep you on the. Once you figure that shit out, you be like, oh, I'm
Get
playing
off
games.
this
Yeah, I'm
shit.
playing games.
Y'all seen the social dilemma?
Yeah,
I was
that's what we
just
talk
about to
about.
ask you about that.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about. That shit crazy.
No, like these people are literally learning how our brain works to make us more addicted. Like how
Right.
sick is
And
that?
make money off of
The
it.
first people
Yeah.
quit that shit is like, nah, this shit.
And
not
then the
good.
craziest part is, you know it's a drug for real. Cause everybody say in the streets, don't get high off your own supply. That's
Ooh.
exactly what they do. Bill Gates, Steve
They
Jobs,
don't be on that shit.
motherfucking
They don't.
Zuckerberg, Musk, all them. They don't. The shit that they produce, they don't use themselves in their daily lives. That
Exactly.
tell you right there how dangerous it is.
It is, because people kind of get affected via like social media. They think that's real life, and I think I was stuck in that mentality too. Like I really thought my whole life was social media, in a sense, just portraying myself to be somebody. But when I really took a step back and was like, bro, like this is not real. Like what people are portraying isn't real. Like they could portray themselves all they want to be, but it's not real. Like,
When did you have that realization?
Pandemic, really, like just having to sit with myself and being like, yo, like I don't need to be on my phone 24 hours a day. Like, you know what I mean? And just switching that mindset of like, yo, instead of social media making money off of me, I could make money off of social media.
So what were you doing during the pandemic? What was like your kind of day to day?
Nothing. Just like literally,
Yeah.
just me getting more into my faith and just kind of just sitting down, working with my dad, with my family, just a lot of family time, unlearning a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Like, super important. Like people need to really go within, and quarantine really allowed me to just sit down with myself and be like, look, what do I want to do? How can I get there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people need to have that talk, but we never have time to because we're in survival mode.
Survival
You ain't got no
mode.
time to thrive. You always trying to survive.
It's autopilot, like literally.
Yeah.
That's why I resonated when you said that. 'Cause I'm like, literally from like preschool all the way up to senior year of high school, it's just like whatever mama say go.
Go.
So you don't got no time to think like, what do I like? What do I want to do? What makes me comfortable?
Yeah.
What gives me that sense of satisfaction? Cause like your mama say go to school, you just gotta go.
Yeah, you just gotta go. That's crazy too. Autopilot's a crazy thing.
It's fucking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so Fabi, we got this OPL segment. So the first letter is like, of course, for official. So what's something official that you feel like a lot of people don't know about? It can be like a person, place, thing, term, whatever you want the people to know about.
Official?
Yeah.
Just doing your research. I think that's really official. Like, society needs to really, instead of listening to what people tell you, yeah, you gotta do your research. Like,
Evidence.
Go
get your evidence.
Evidence for sure.
You ever heard that saying, if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book?
Oh, you know how many times I heard that? That's
so
real.
you want to
though.
start reading though.
Nah, real shit.
And that's
with me.
that part.
Nah, freshman year, Mosiah put us on the Dr. Claude Anderson. And he said that shit. I was like, damn, this shit kind of fucked up. My friend, let me start reading.
Okay.
Now I got hella books.
That's real shit. And niggas are smart as hell.
So like on to the P, the psychological aspect. If you could give mindset advice to anybody listening, what would you tell them?
Ooh, just really look within for your purpose. Like, I know for me, I really didn't understand what my purpose was, but when I look back in my childhood, I was like, yo, like, what do I really love doing? You know what I mean? And that really helped me, clear the clutter and see really what my purpose was.
Is that what looking within means? Is that how you define that, being able to go back and like pick stuff apart, be like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I like.
Exactly. Like, to be honest, when we were kids, that was our purest form.
Yeah. We were just talking about that.
You the closest to the Most High, the younger you are.
Okay, like
you less conditioned.
Exactly, you're less conditioned. So sometimes, like, people are always scattering, trying to figure out what they like, but all you had to do just look within yourself, spend time with yourself, and really go back to your roots.
So on to the F, the fashion. If you could describe your style in 3 or less words, what would you say in ratio drill 1 through 10?
Oh, okay, 3 words.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Fabeina, Nami, Riggins for sure.
Okay, that's one way to do it. Yeah,
for sure, like
you're the first one to do it like that.
Don't say my name.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't model myself after nobody. I just put on what I like to wear. For example, this outfit right here was styled by Jackie. She's a young creative on Benedict College campus. Oh my gosh, she's fly.
You gotta tell us about it.
She is fly. You look fly.
Thank you.
yeah, she is fly.
Like, this whole outfit is thrifted. I mean, not the shoes, of course, but like, it's thrifted. So, I really just like what I like. I like what other people like. So, yeah. As far as my drip though, it's a 10 out of 10 because it was styled by her.
So I like how we all got on James too.
Okay.
Black culture.
Okay, Black culture, right? Black owned business.
So like, where can the people find you at? Where can they find you at? Look at your work, learn more about you.
Oh my gosh. So I'm really on Instagram at Fabeina, just my name. You can find me on TikTok, Adulting with Fab, Twitter, Fabeina, but you can really access all links on my Instagram.
Y'all go follow Fabeina.
She got
support
a lot
all of her content.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant woman, and she look good, as you can see. You gonna want that down your, timeline.
Period.
So y'all gonna make that happen.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for coming through. Fisher Side Fashion, financial literacy, and mindset through the lenses of young creators and entrepreneurs. Yet again, we had another dope young creative entrepreneur. I want to thank you guys for listening. Anything you want to leave the people with?
Take care of yourself. I say that every time, but it's super important.
Peace.
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 That was dope.